2021 was by no means a bad year for RPGs, but to put things in perspective, 2022 is kicking off with Elden Ring, and the hits are gonna keep coming from there and on.
This video is brought to you by Answerly, a question platform that pays you for adding high-quality answers on different questions. The users are rewarded in Answerly tokens, which they can easily convert into dollars or any other cryptocurrency by using one of the exchanges mentioned in the description.
Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel. In today's video, we'll be looking at the 10 upcoming RPG games in 2022. If you're new here, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell to get the updates whenever we post. Whether we're talking richly detailed open worlds begging to be explored, mile for mile, the infamously dense narrative endemic to JRPGs, or the hack-and-slash thrills offered up by ARPGs, there's a deluge of goodness falling under the RPG umbrella on the way. And so here are 10 upcoming RPG games that will surely get you excited. Elden Ring 2022. In the game, you play as a tarnished attempting to restore the shattered titular Elden Ring. Like many of the Souls games, you create your own character here to use from scratch. You can play as a brutal melee bone crusher, an adept magic user powered by weaponized wizardry, an archer, or any combination of multiple fantasy archetypes. As always, you won't be ruled by your starting kit and can take your character in any direction you wish over the course of the game. There are 6 critical legacy dungeons featured in Elden Ring that feature huge bosses, fog gates, and tons of secrets to discover in a typical looping from software dungeon design. These areas are not present in the open world and are isolated, gated-off instances that preserve the nature of a curated dungeon experience. King Arthur Knight's Tale 2022. In the game, you play as Mordred, the traitor knight who slew and was slain by King Arthur. Except you're not dead. The Lady of the Lake has revived you to finish what you began, to kill the once and future king. The world has changed with undead knights, a cycle of eternal return in a land thrown into upheaval by the corrupted soul of a king. It's basically King Arthur meets Dark Souls, which is pretty boss. There are 2 morality meters that track your decisions on scales between tyrant and rightful, Christian and old fate. Your decisions will eventually annoy certain knights, attract others, and possibly open or close story missions. Triangle Strategy 2022. Project Triangle Strategy is a brand new IP for the tried and tested Square Enix. For so long, fans have been clamoring for a follow-up to their cult classic Final Fantasy Tactics, originally released on the PlayStation 1. But even though we're not getting any new Final Fantasy Tactics game, Triangle Strategy is looking to take its place as the brand new tactics RPG of choice. The gameplay feels like a modern adaptation of Final Fantasy Tactics. It's a gritty tale of politics and warfare, making mature audiences and fans of political intrigue truly find their fill in the game. The political intrigue of the game follows 3 mighty powers in the continent of Norzelia, the Kingdom of Glenbrook, the Grand Duchy of Aesfrost, and the Holy State of Hyzante. Each of the 3 powers controls a vital resource which has led to lots of conflicts, most notably the Salteran War. While the mutual destruction of the 3 powers brought an unstable peace, it would not last. The fragile truce was immediately broken when the newly ascended Archduke Gustadolf of Aesfrost launched a surprise invasion of Glenbrook. LX2 2022. LX2 is the sequel to LX, the vintage open-world RPG. LX2 returns to the post-apocalyptic science fantasy world of Maglum, with massive environments that can be explored with unrivaled freedom via a jetpack. You will be able to move through the epic story any way you want. Several years after Jax defeated the hybrid, a new threat arrives from the sky, unleashing the powers of Dark LX and endangering all life on the planet. In order to defend the peace on Maglum and the safety of his own family, Jax has to go on a mission to convince the factions to unite against the invaders and find his own son, Dex, who got separated from him. Atelier Sophie 2, The Alchemist of the Mysterious Dream. One of the stories experienced throughout the alchemist Sophie's many adventures as she continued her travels after leaving her hometown of Kirchenbell. This is Sophie's adventure as she searches for her friend Plakta in the dream world Day Wage, where Day becomes separated and shows the bonds she forms with the people she meets, and Passing of Hearts. The Atelier series are RPGs that prominently feature puzzle-like crafting minigames, where ingredients with many different effects can be combined to create new things. Much of its appeal is in the level of customization the players have, twisting and changing recipes, adding powerful traits to existing items, or using unexpected ingredients in them. Doing stuff like cranking the sharpness stat of a sword to inhuman levels, or adding regeneration on top of your health potions. It gets really complicated. The Cruel King and the Great Hero 2022. A young girl named Yu embarks on an adventure to become a great hero. By her side is a fearsome beast known as the Dragon King who guides and protects her. However, the truth of the Dragon King's past will soon rear its ugly head, threatening the peaceful life they've enjoyed until now. Explore charming settings, overcome monsters and puzzles, and discover a story of companionship, heroism, and facing the past. Weird West 2022. Weird West is a top-down action RPG with a huge swath of incisive interlocking systems all working in unison to submerge the player in its own interpretation of the American frontier. The Weird West is a brutal place to live. The prairie boomtowns are overrun with bloodthirsty outlaws, the vengeful undead are climbing out of their graves, and scheming witches are brewing dark magic on the outskirts of society. A heavy, dirgeful soundtrack follows the player everywhere as they cash in bounties, stave off the carnivorous wildlife, and stay one step ahead of everyone who wants to see them dead. The Waylanders 2022. The Waylanders is a party-based RPG drawing its inspirations from Celtic myth and legend. The game has you guiding a part of adventurers composed of characters from 6 base classes as they explore a Celtic Spanish wilderness ridden with warring factions, monsters, and magic corruptions. You'll build alliances, pursue romances, and follow a story of cultural shift and conflict. The Waylanders shows a lot of promise. The plot for one sounds intriguing thanks to a run-in with a group of gods. Your character briefly dies and becomes disconnected from fate and even time itself. This makes you able to travel between a Celtic and a medieval timeline. This idea has the potential for all manner of interesting applications, from solving puzzles to changing the relationship between you and your party, and even influencing historical events. Maglum Lord 2022. Maglum Lord takes you on an adventure that involves forging magic swords. The protagonist is a demon lord who once ran rampant and can mutilate and destroy even such high-ranking beings without question, was strongly viewed by both sides as the enemy of the world. Eventually, the demon lord became surrounded by an alliance of gods and demon lords. However, by his loyal retainer, he managed to escape from danger and went into a deep slumber to recover. Players will get the option to choose between a male or a female protagonist at the start of the game. As a demon lord, the player needs to find a potential partner by increasing bonds with other characters. Each love interest will have a likability factor to manage. Players can increase this rank by battling together, selecting the right responses to their questions, and giving characters their favorite items as you progress through the story. Made in Abyss, Binary Star Falling into Darkness 2022. In the 3D action RPG Made in Abyss, Binary Star Falling into Darkness, the player descends into the world of the Abyss and grows through their experience in its depths. The player can relive the experience of the anime in story mode, as well as explore an original story supervised by the series author Akihito Chikushi. Fans are sure to enjoy the dark fantasy elements that remain true to the unique flavor of the original work. Many characters from Made in Abyss appear as well, and event scenes are fully voiced by the cast from the anime. The game's original story takes place many days after Rico and Reg depart from the Abyss, the world's sole remaining, unconquered chasm. The Abyss is the stage where many adventures are born and disappear. Well, there you have it, 10 RPG games that will make you feel as if the next year is going to be perfect. Which of these games would you say is the best? Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below.
If you like this video, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to this channel. To learn more about Atelier and Atelier tokens, check out the links in the description.